Going to do an install video on the Mosko Gnoblin to mount your R80 and R40 on a couple of my bikes, on a T7 and a 500 KTM. So here's the two Gnoblins, so you can see what you get. So one in the pack, one out of the pack. So out of the pack, you get a couple of mount plates, these two things. You have 4 button heads that are going to thread through here into here. You have a top mount bung, and then if you're running through your fender, you have some to add some structure. 3 different length Allens, a nut and a washer. So on this one, on the KTM, so this is the new R40. So this is the one that's coming out, and this is how we're going to mount it. Nicely enough, I have a rack on here, and True North Motos just happens to have a hole right there. So the first thing I'm going to do is mount the bung in that hole. So it's simple, straightforward enough. The bung goes on the top. If you have a plastic fender and you don't have a mount to put it on, you know, aluminum or steel mount to put it on, then you're going to go through the fender and you're going to add this in the bottom. So that would go from underneath. And that's going to add structure, and then you're going to have your washer and your nut go under there. So put those together, thread those in. All you need for this is a 5mm Allen and a 10mm wrench. That's that mounted. On the back of the new R40, your foam comes in 3 pieces. So you're going to take it off your middle piece, and you'll see there's dots both sides. You're just going to trim that with scissors. So just cut along the dotted line. Or, didn't realize, the dotted line is actually a tear in there. So if you don't have scissors, you can actually just do that and take it out. You can clean that up later if you want. So then that goes back, Velcro against Velcro, obviously. And then that is going to sit here. Now these straps are now become redundant, so we want to get rid of them. These are threaded through this plate, so the way I found the easiest way to get them out is if you just, so you can see it, get a flat blade screwdriver, slip it into the buckle and twist it, and it comes out. If you know that you're never going to use these again, you could just cut them off. So take both of those out. So, next up, you are going to get these 2 pieces and your 4 bolts and a 4mm. I would suggest putting some Loctite on it, so you're going to put Loctite on those 4 bolts. And this piece, if you put the Mosko logo facing to the front of the bike, there's 3 holes, and this is going to position in any of those 3 holes, and the other piece is going to go from underneath with a recess facing upwards, and you're going to thread through here into here. So I'm going to mount mine in the middle to see how it is, adjustability and everything. And then just double check that you're sitting square to the holes, everything is good. This is threaded all the way out. And then tighten everything up. Just snug them down first, just to hold them in place. And then tighten them up. Okay, so they're nice and tight. So now, because this is out, this is going to hook onto there. like that, and then when it's on, tighten that down to hold that in place. Tighten that down so that now that can't move backwards, forward, side to side. Okay. Put your straps back in, however they have it a mount on your bike. In this case, there's a little mount hole there. Thread back through. Just do that nice and loosely on one side, then do the other. So once you've got both sides on, put it down nice and tight. And that is not going anywhere. I'll zoom out. So that's it, fixed to the bike. That's it, simple as that. Okay, that is rock solid. Now the R80, that's a little bit different. Simple reason is, on the back here, we don't have the holes, so we're gonna have to create those. Okay, so mounting the Gnoblin on the R80. So this is the R80. This is the revolver. I'm gonna revolve it, and yours might be mounted different to mine. I've been using this since this came out. But what I did, and Pete and I chatted about this. We actually, before the Gnoblin came out, we actually bolted it through. So that was a solid bolt. But it's annoying because you can't take, if you have to take the whole thing off quickly, you've got to get your tools out. It's not that easy. So this is what I'm going to get rid of. You've probably got aluminum plates in here and then straps going backwards. So you're just going to remove those. But for me, first thing I'm going to do is remove that. So that's removed. So now you and I are in the same position. You remove your straps. You've come in here, you've taken those, you've pulled the blue aluminum pieces that are the same as these ones in here. Take those out. So what I already have the hole mounted in the plate itself. Take the whole system, take it off. What you're going to do, if you're not lucky enough to have a hole there already, you're going to get your drill out and you're going to drill a hole, but size up where you want, obviously. But you're going to drill a hole somewhere in your plate or in your fender. The same as I did earlier with the R40, you're going to take this little bobbin, you're going to find whatever bolt works best for you. You're going to go through your fender or through your luggage rack. You're going to get your 5mm and your 10mm, and you're going to tighten all that up. That's tight in place, that's good. Grab your bag again. You're going to put your bag back on. For me, it's quite easy because I know where the position is. Basically, you're going to figure out where your ideal position would be. In my case, I know it's right there. And then we're going to get the other pieces, which is going to be this again. And then this is going to sit. And in my case, because I have a hole there, it's going to go pretty much straight over the hole. Okay? So for doing the next part, there's a few options. You could get a pen and you could mark through these holes. Mark the 4 of them. You could get your drill, get a fine drill bit, drill through, try not to mess up the thread on there, but drill your 4 holes. You could get an awl, and if you have a little benzomatic deal, heat that up, force that through there. Or if you have one, like I do, you can get one of these. This is just an electrical version of the same. And put it in position. Create your holes. just got to push this through so I can get the bolt through. And this cauterizes the holes as well, so it's not going to fray afterwards. There's my 4 holes. The difference on mounting this one versus mounting the other one, where the holes are already there, instead of putting your Loctite on here on your bolt, because it's gone through material, it'll wipe most of it off. Put your Loctite on the actual mount itself, so it's on the threads. It doesn't get wiped off as you put it through. Same thing again with the mount, with your little basilic lizard facing towards the front of the bike. It's going to go like that. You're going to get your bolts and make sure that's threaded out so you've got room to play. Get your 4mm and start a couple of them off. So what I would suggest, these are elliptical holes, so you do have a little bit of movement, a little bit of leeway. But if you mount opposite corners, then it's going to make you mounting a little easier. Take the bottom piece, come underneath, and get everything in place, tighten it all up. So that's nice and tight. And then same as before, all you're going to do is just slide it through, locate it, turn the little knob down. Now that's tight. Okay, that's not going forwards. I'll say that. Obviously I'm not tight enough, so let's keep going. So, okay, so nice and tight. That's in place exactly where you need it to be. And then I'm going to show you how I mount the lower legs, because I probably mount them different than you do. It might be something that you want to adopt on your mount, so it holds the R80 very tight to your bike. So where you'd normally have your cloth straps coming out of here, you have a loop that you can mount through there. I use a volley strap, and in my case I have a peg mount right there. And by using that, it keeps tension on the bag and keeps it very tight to the bike. And then to keep it even tighter on the underneath, because I have a small rack system underneath, under the bike, I use another volley strap and I pull inwards with that. So that stops any potential flopping around of the bag. It's a little easier to see on the non-exhaust side. So if I undo the volley strap at the front, and you'll see I have a rack under here. So basically I thread through that rack. I put the front strap on first, tighten it down. And then with this one, I just add this as an extra, and then that stops. This is, once the bag is full and full of luggage, it creates tension on this rubber strap, and that holds everything. So everything is in. It's rock solid, and you don't have a tendency of the bag wanting to. If this wasn't here, it wants to do that as you go down a bumpy road. So when you put this on, keep in mind that I don't have any luggage on here, but that stops that. So if you have that option, that's a good way to go. So there you go, Gnoblin, fully mounted on an R80 revolver, and also fully mounted on the new R40. So hopefully that helps you guys, and any questions, put them down in the comments below and I'll get to them. I'll give you an answer.